not too shabby.
Was aiming for the black 20. Hit the black 20, gotta love that. Well, hey everyone, Friday, October 4th. It is a beautiful evening here in Iowa. I'm here at my house, just got back from the office and decided to get my bow out and do some shooting once I got back here. And you know, one thing I wanted to kind of share that I'm looking to do this year is just really focusing on staying consistent with shooting throughout the fall. It's an easy thing to get caught up doing work and trying to fit in hunts and things like that. But you know, it pays off, especially for me as a person that does well with having lots of practice, having that muscle memory built up, that I stay consistent. And so, you know, even when time is a factor, when you can't, you know, get a ton of shots in, I still think that what you can do, you know, is just pick a random yardage. I picked 32 just now, just kind of stepped wherever in my yard and ranged it, and just take one shot, really focusing on that mental process that you have, focusing on executing the shot, all these mechanical things to just force your brain to continue to focus on that when you're shooting. And we'll see if it pays off. I mean, I'm feeling really good with the bow, and I'm excited to hopefully put it to test. Little update for me, Dave and I, 2 days ago on the 2nd, we made our first hunt out on the hay farm and had a great hunt. Saw 9 deer, I think it was, total. Bunch of does and a little spike, but you know, it was great to get out, great to just be in the stand again. It's always a great feeling, that first sit. You know, one thing with that area is it's surrounded by corn this year. Last year was primarily beans. They flip-flopped the rotation this year, and now it's corn. And so, you know, between that, my public stuff has lots of corn around it, and so I'm finding with those spots being primarily corn, you know, you're seeing a lot of deer still in those secluded areas. A lot of bucks are still MIA, for lack of a better term. I know Caleb talks about this a bunch. I really think that there's something to it, and so really at this point, just kind of waiting for some targets to hopefully show up. Certainly have had a couple trickle in, the bigger deer out on the public, another great deer out on the public that I actually got pictures of this morning, and that one out on the hay farm, he's got all sorts of sticker points. He's a cool buck, so hopefully we start seeing more showing up, and really just gonna kind of pick our shots between now and whenever that happens, whenever these deer do start showing up and we can get some better game plans together. So that's kind of my outlook. But on this week's episode, gonna join Rye. He and Dave made their first sit yesterday out at one of his new work for permission farms. Rye's got a great story this year. It's fun to be following along. He's working his butt off and earning some awesome permission spots. So really excited to follow along with his story, and we'll jump to him now.
Kind of a neat little spot. We were putting cameras out on this new farm. I've got permission to hunt. It's one of these work for permission farms. So basically, the main part of the farm is all large ag. You can see it's got a sliver of timber here in the northwest corner where I am, a little spot where we had just put a camera on the northeast corner, and then basically just your east or your west side of the farm has a strip of timber that connects into this, and there's a big pond over my shoulder. So I'm just kind of putting some cameras around the edge, doing a little, I just had a deer get up right here. I mean, that was within 20 or 30 yards. One of the neat things is, let's walk over here. You can see the north side of this has a ton of CRP, and the same thing with the east side. So just right now, my plan, there's a couple trees that we can hunt in. I haven't really marked them or anything. I'm still kind of scouting, but there's a locust right here on my shoulder. You can hunt it south, or if you wanted to try and rattle something in, you set up kind of differently and have a decoy. I think a decoy when a property is so open like this with all that CRP is going to be a game changer. So neat farm. It is October 1st, by the way, the archery opener in Iowa. And I'm out here doing this, so we'll see what the day holds. Not sure what the afternoon's gonna look like yet. This camera is just on the other end of that fingers of trees from up there. And that pond drops down over the shoulder. You've got these 2 fingers, 3 fingers that run up out of that CRP. So I don't know, that scrape was opened up, so I just kind of blew it open. Got to put the link on the link antenna on the home camera. I forgot to do that, so we're gonna do that now. Fence gap crossing. It's great. And then there's a pond on the other side, so everything kind of pinches down right here. Old John's got a mowed lane. We like mowed lanes. Gonna be a banger spot. I almost forgot. Got an armor. All right, that's the last camera. Away we go. Well, good morning. Just fed Chancey breakfast. I was going through trail cam pictures and the farm we put them out on yesterday. Got a good buck. Came in and hit the scrape down along the creek in the northeast corner of the farm. I figured that would be a hot spot. Then he also hit the scrape on the northwest corner, so he just worked up that fence line and then probably came through that crossing into that scrape. So he could have came up the field edge, but good to see a good buck on camera nonetheless. I'm excited. I mean, you take a look at the photo and I'd say realistically probably a 4-year-old. Well, deer number 2 on the new farm. He is not the biggest antlered deer, but my goodness, is he a mature dude. Look at this 8-pointer. Come on. This looks like a brick. Came in and hit the scrape again on that northwest corner. Just covering up the scent of that 10 last night. So successful trail cam put out yesterday. I'm happy with it. It's always rewarding when you get, I don't know, just that instantaneous gratification. It's like, all right, I know at least what I'm doing sometimes, so. I guess I should put my bino harness on before I put the bag on, huh?
Maybe. I used to be in behind the boat.
Yeah, you know, man. It's been since, when was the last time I bow hunted? January 6th of last year, I guess. Shot a doe. What is up? We got set up out here on the ground. This is a new farm. I'm pretty excited to hunt it. I've had cameras out here for 2 nights so far. And I've got 2 deer on camera that I think are mature, and then another one that I think is 4. The 4-year-old's really nice. And kind of one of the funny things before we get into this property, the first deer that I thought was mature, it's just a wide 8-point with short brows, and I sent it to my buddy Joey. He had a deer back in Maryland they called wide load, and the deer looks identical to it. And so we're gonna deem that deer wide load. I don't have any other names for anything else. There's a kind of tight racked heavy 10 that showed up this morning down the bottom directly in front of me, but I'm just tickled to be out here. This is the first hunt of the year, October 3rd, and it doesn't get much better. This is an absolutely gorgeous spot. I mean, CRP all out in front of you, overlooking this big bottom. I don't know, it's 85 degrees out. I was like, don't have many places to go for an east wind. We got out here, it's kind of hitting northeast, which is okay for us. East kind of cuts into some of the bedding, but what are you gonna do? Basically this farm, I really got permission on it like 2 days ago. It's got about 80 acres of tillable on it, and then there's little pockets of timber around the edge. The northeast corner has almost like a river bottom feel to it, and then the northwest corner is a bunch of locust trees up top. And that whole west side of the farm is a strip that runs the entirety of the property line. There's a pond in the middle, there's a lot of deer trails, and there's ag on both sides. So as we get through the year, I'll probably start diving into that and hunting it a little bit, but found one good fence crossing while I was in there the other day. But for today, we are solely doing an observation ship. We saw 3 deer on the way in, a doe and 2 fawns, and they kind of got down here in the bottom where we couldn't see. So I like our setup. It's not exactly what I had envisioned, but with the northeast, we're safest here to blow it back, and instead of getting on the far east side of the property. It's about 6 o'clock. We're gonna put the binos up, glass all this beautiful CRP, and see if we can't lay eyes on one of these bucks, or maybe one we don't know that's here. So Abby is dialing in. Ooh, grasshopper. That's what she should aim at, the grasshopper. Dialing them in. She ain't hunting, but she's practicing. Had some deer pop out in the bottom, so we're just moving up to this autumn olive bush so Dave can film them a little better. We're still got good cover. See what else pops out down here. Just 2 does for right now. Well, that was a pretty good sit for the first sit on farm. Final tally is going to be 12 does and fawns, and can't complain. As far as like learning the farm goes, it looks like the movement is kind of where I expected, the northeast and northwest corners of the farm. Who knows what came out behind us. We didn't bump anything off the field. There's a couple draws that go down to the east that the deer could have been down and feeding around, and it comes out of that CRP to the east. Plus there could be stuff crossing the road, but we didn't bump anything on the way out, so that's what I'm getting at. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to learn the farm more, and as we get farther into the season, start diving into some spots, hang a couple tree stands. I think I found a tree on the northeast corner where I didn't think you could get a stand, to possibly get a stand in, or else I may be exploring saddles this year like I have been told I should. So I'm not opposed to it. It's just something I haven't done. I've hunted for a long time and always out of tree stands or on the ground, and excited to try it. Wish I would have done it before October got here. So we're gonna wrap that up, pack up the bow case real quick, get the stuff in the truck, and get home and eat some dinner. So we'll catch up with you guys next time we're out. I think I'll be filming Mike the next couple days, but Gavin and Zach will be out. I know Josh is going to make a sit tomorrow morning, and might be a kill sit. So we'll catch up with you guys next time.